Battlefront 2 is a very immersive game, but the question is, should you play it in first person or third person? My name is Harry, and today we'll be finding out the answer to the question you all have been asking. First off, we're going to start with the pros of playing in first person. And there is one pro that I think everyone thinks of when thinking about first person. And that is the fact that it feels like you're actually there playing the game. And that is the reason most people, if they do play in first person, they do play in first person. Whereas if we go ahead and look at third person, the reason most people play in third person is their visibility. And that is the point that most people try to make on reasons to play in third person. In fact, I used to play in first person when I first started playing this game. But recently, I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, I decided, you know what, yeah, let's try it in third person. And I've started going higher on the leaderboards, progressing through the game quicker. I think I completed the campaign in a record time for me, because I just play it for fun. Instead of being able to do it in a smaller amount of time, because my visibility is limited. You can't look around corners without showing yourself. Now, that is something I do want to circle around to, but first let's go on to another pro and con. And that is the fact of, if you play in first person, you may notice when you sprint, you will bob up and down, and that is to make it feel like you're actually in first person, so your camera will shake up and down. As far as I know, there isn't a way to turn this off. There may be one, and yes, but obviously I still personally think third person is the way to go, but honestly it is personal preference, as you may know. But basically it doesn't do that in third person, because obviously it's a set camera behind you, so it will stay still, just following you around. I wish I could show you my hand gestures right now, but basically that is it. And in first person, bobs up and down, and that is something that can get annoying. Right in front of you, your eyes, should be me sprinting, like a video of it, but as far as I know, that is something you can't turn off, and it is definitely a con of first person. I mean, personally, first person shortened is immersion. It's one for if you want to feel like you're actually there, go ahead and use it. It's definitely one to use because it's such fun and such brilliant. I sometimes use it, I kind of dip in and out of it, but I do still think third person is the way to go. So, let's have a look at another one, and I think this can either be really good or really bad, and I definitely noticed it with, at the time I hadn't unlocked the gun I'm using right now. This gun right here, I didn't like it in first person. So the looks of it, how it feels, maybe how it just looks kind of makes you think, oh, I don't like this. Like one of the heavy guns that you use, I think on the Rebel Alliance, I don't like, personally, because it just looks different and weird to me, and personally, I think it's bad. Obviously, the gun itself, if you use it in third person, it's normal, looks fine. But if you use it in first person, as soon as I used it, I thought, oh, that is actually pretty bad. So, yeah, definitely think that guns can look very different. Blasters can look very different in first person. Like, right now, you should be able to see this footage that I'm looking at right now, and that is a heavy. I didn't like it with the reduced recoil attachment. So obviously attachments can make guns look a bit different as well, and I thought the reduced recoil just made it look a bit weird, but obviously it's a modification that actually is really good. So I thought, yeah, I'll keep with it, but luckily it's not the E11, it's the third one, I believe. It's really fast and does quite a bit of damage. It's like OP, it's really good, and it's the one I use personally now. But that one, I'm lucky because personally I think that one looks pretty decent in first person. Although it's pretty weird how it looks like it has a scope, but actually it doesn't have a scope. So that always messes me up really bad. So, with that knowledge, let's circle round to third person. So obviously we've just discussed that in first person the blaster can look pretty weird. Personally, I actually think the one I was using at the time does also look pretty weird with the I don't know, magazine, I think it's actually the reduced recoil, being right on the side, and obviously doesn't have a zoom. I love it when things don't have a zoom, and depends on the situation. But basically, in third person, you can't actually see the blaster. You only know, then all you have to think of is, how does it feel? Does it feel good? Does it feel fast? Do you want speed, damage? Which one do you want? And that's what you have to think of, instead of having to think of stuff like, right, I hate the look of it, I'm not using it. Because obviously I'm not going to use a blaster, that doesn't look nice to me, because then it'll put me off. And I don't want to use something that I've been put off, because that'll just make it weird again. And because obviously blasters are personal opinion. Obviously you can think, right, I want speed on that blaster, because like some heavies, you have the 5th one in the heavy column. That one is damage, but also decently fast. It's almost like a shotgun. I think it's meant to be a shotgun, but it's both, because it is also decently fast, like a shotgun. So then you can go on to assault and almost get heavy, but a small one, so that it's very fast but also deals a lot of damage. And I think that's one that quite a few people use, actually. So it is down to personal opinion on first person and third person as well. But basically, I think if we're talking about stuff like that and how something looks, yes, first person is not the way to go for that. So let's circle around everything we've talked about today, whether you should use first person or third person. And after everything, personally, I think it is third person, because obviously, as I talked, there's a short and long answer. I've gone for the long one to give you the reason. Obviously, thought that looked pretty weird then. Sorry, I'm looking at different footage than you, but it's third person if you want to go for a tactical advantage and stuff like that, being able to see around corners without actually showing yourself, and obviously stuff like that, because you can switch its side. You can't do that in first person. Your view is limited, which is actually a massive factor to it, and I think that's what puts most people off, because you want to be able to see where you're actually going to be fighting and all that, but on third person you can. And obviously you've also got the blaster looks and how it looks, so that is obviously one of them. You've also got I talked about another one which I can't remember right now, but that one as well. I am really not professional, am I? But basically, yeah, go for whichever one you think is the right one. Basically, that means if you want realism, immersion, which I did do a video on yesterday, so do make sure to check that one out. If you want realism and immersion, first person is the way to go. If you want tactical advantage, third person is the way to go. So everybody, I do just quickly want to take a couple of minutes to talk about this channel. So in case you don't know, I do have another channel named Harry HW, not anymore, Harry MC, which is Minecraft content, and obviously Harry SW, I'm pretty sure that's easy to figure out. Harry SW means Star Wars, anything Star Wars game related, and which means Battlefront 2. Hopefully in a couple of months we can do something like Jedi Fallen Order. That would be amazing. That game looks amazing, and I think it'd be pretty cool to play. And obviously I'm going to be talking about gaming news about certain games. An upcoming video is going to be about the upcoming Ubisoft open world game, and just news on that, because that is a game definitely when it releases, as soon as it releases, I'm going to buy. It's a couple of years yet, so that's a couple of years of this channel. Geez, that's a long way. It's a long way away. But obviously it will come, and it will be amazing, and I think a lot of you guys can agree on that, because I don't know why I'm rolling so much on these clips, but it is going to be an amazing game, so I think it will be very fun to play at the time. So everybody, I do want to say thank you everyone for watching today's video. This is our second video on the channel, and it is also a brilliant one. I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm enjoying the games. Technically I'm just Star Wars fan, really. But the games are also good. To say I don't like shooting games or anything to do with blasters or guns, I think the heroes is what brought me to this game, and the fact that you can actually be like Skywalkers. Anakin, obviously, my favourite. But anyway, do really enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.